competitive life.
You finished 5th in event number 1, so that seems like a strong start, right?
For me, yeah, that's a strong start.
I mean, that shows that you came in despite having that year off. You came in with a certain level of tenacity.
Right.
Um,
And that's what I love, because if there's no excuses there in the sense of I came off one of the hardest years, I've seen or people have seen, and I did well. So to me, that's an indication that I did well with the diversity and the change. And so that's affirming, as a
yeah.
person. Like that's nice.
So you were the first of the 4 heats that ran at Pipe after the event got
Yeah.
moved from Honolulu. Going into that heat against Tati, did the move to Pipe feel like a risk or an opportunity for you?
I only viewed it as an opportunity, with the shark attack. Like I was in the water that morning. Um, and I actually got the best waves, or I surfed the best I've surfed the whole time I was there, those few waves before the shark attack. And so I had, like even at the moment I had like chills, and I thought after I got good waves in the morning, I thought the chills were from the good wave I surfed. Like, okay, this is game day. Like, I could win, or I feel it. Or the chills could have been because I get them right now, like talking to you. Like it could have been that there was a shark in the water,
Yeah,
or what was going to happen. Like it's crazy. Like I seriously, my whole body, like,
that is crazy.
and I think, I don't know. What I knew in my spirit is that I didn't feel right competing in Maui, in Honolulu, like for the place's sake and for the guy that got attacked sake. I was like, I put my hand up first in our meeting, 2 hours later, being told that, we're probably going to go to Pipe, one of the scariest waves in the world, the gnarliest waves, hardly have ever surfed there. And I put my hand up and I just said, I don't feel right going out to Honolulu and seeking for my own victory and me winning when someone, something so tragic just happened. Like this place needs to like lay to rest, and this guy, and they deserve the respect that they do. And if I'm being honest, was I freaking nervous as hell to go to Pipe? Like absolutely. But I think in my life, I've always looked at things as I only know what I know. And if nothing presents itself that makes me uncomfortable or out of my control, then I'll never grow. So I'm like, I don't really like big waves, and I am afraid to be held underwater. And I am afraid of reef. But does that say I can't do it? I don't know. Like, I wanted to look at it as an opportunity. And especially beginning of the year, I was like, okay, God, like this is a big learning curve for me, going into the year. If I can tackle something as huge as surfing Pipe for the first time on the tour for the women, I'm a part of history, and I'm pushing myself where I wouldn't. So yeah, I saw it as an opportunity. I would have liked to surf, not without the shark attack. I would have liked to finish that event in Maui in the sense of,
Yeah.
I felt really good surfing wise. And I had good momentum, but it's okay.
Yeah. What did you do to prepare for Pipe?
Every day. So that night I packed up, went to Oahu as soon as I can. We got told like get over there as fast as we can. We could be competing in the next 2 days. Like it was very rushed, because our second event wasn't going to be till a month later at sunset. So there was a lot of time intended. Um, I made myself every single day until we surfed. I made myself surf sunset or Pipe, only 2 waves. Didn't matter the size. It was either there or there. I paddled out to sunset. It was, huge. I paddled out by myself, and sat in the channel. I gave myself the space. It was like, I don't care if I'm the furthest person in the channel, like however long it takes, like every day that I go out here, or every hour that I move closer to a bigger wave or closer to being comfortable, like that's my process. And that's okay. But the first step is me getting out here, because I didn't even, parts of me didn't even want to do that. Um, and or Pipe, and that's what I did every single day. And there was one day at Pipe I paddled at sunset, but I didn't paddle at Pipe because it was freaking, Chris had paddled out and she had Jamie O'Brien, and I was like, I can't do it. Like I
Yeah.
can't. Even Tati did it, and Tati was who I was going to be competing against, and I was like, I just can't. Like I can die. Like
Yeah.
100%. I'm looking at waves that I'm like, if that broke in front of me, I could die. And I was like, I can't, I can't risk it.
So what do you do moving forward? I mean, there's a real possibility that pipe ends up on the women's schedule. And how do you prepare against those fears that you're talking about?
Well, I think just more time in the location, more time spent out there, and giving myself the time to get comfortable with it and understand, like, big wave surfing and surfing pipe, like, there's just things that they look impossible. Like when I was out surfing and I was watching Jamie or John or anybody, like the way that the wave breaks, like this is impossible to me. I don't know what line, how to get down this. Like I can get down this, yeah. So like things that were impossible watching these guys. But the more I went out, I understood, like, oh, the way that you lean, like, so if you're on a 6-foot wave, I know this is so technical and like nerdy, but it's, it's like really cool things. But if you're on a 6-8 foot wave, like I'd always lean back, right? And then you put your nose up and then you overcompensate, you nose dive and you just eat shit, or you go over the lip. When I always hear like those things, like you have to commit, blah, 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 And I'm like, you really have to commit, because when you're going down a 6-8 foot wave, you have to lean forward so you keep a rail in that wave so that you actually hold a line. I didn't know that. Like I didn't understand that concept until I was actually out there. And I'm like, who the hell leans forward off a 6-8 foot cliff? Like, and then goes, oh, I'm gonna like trust that this is gonna happen. The only way that I learned that was over time and putting, like being aware and like focus. So I think it's just more time in the water and allowing that space and just understanding that things that look impossible aren't, but there is a formula